welcome to the Spiritual Converse. It's EJ, and I wanted to talk about the things that have been happening in the planet. I mean, there's news about fires in certain places like Maui, British Columbia, Italy, uh, just various different places. Strange things happening, you know, uh, earthquakes and floods in California. You know, it's, I'm not amazed. I mean, this summer we had rising temperatures and stuff like that. So, you know, people claim that there is climate change, but yet I see that it's just human beings purposely messing with Mother Nature. And how does it affect the soul or human behavior? It affects it greatly. As far as balance is concerned, it and frequency, it puts everything out of balance, and the frequency starts to can spike, either raise high or hit very low, depending on what is happening in the moment. So, how does it affect us? Well, on a physical level, what it does is that some people, chemistry can either mess with their brain or can mess with the internal organs, which causes a disharmony, right? You have people who will go through depression. You would have people that are going through some sort of psychosis or anxiety or fear. you know um, what else? You have other things other than what's happening physically, but spiritually. You would have people that either get in tuned and they get certain symptoms like headaches and stuff. On a physical level, they get headaches, but they start to feel the emotions around others, like with empaths, or they can be able to, you know, uh, get a greater sense of awareness of the disharmony that's happening. You know, um, it'll put them in a mood, certain mood. They could either get agitated or they could feel sadness, you know, anger, you know. But these were things made, these things were made purposely to get you in that sense of those kinds of feelings, or to get us from ascending spiritually, collective consciously, because as a collective, we need to be able to come out of these things together. The only way to do that is to ground yourself and be able to harmonize with others to come to a solution. For every problem there is a solution. Whether the solution is good or bad depends, you know, but there's always a solution. Now, to be still in the face of chaos, it does not help at all. You must either go with the flow or be a step ahead, some way, somehow, some form. Now, as far as people would eventually come together, eventually. Would they wake up out of a slumber? Yes, because this is meant to capture your attention. And so, with that being said, about frequencies, like I spoke about in another video, when you cause an imbalance to the planet, its frequencies could put the planet into catastrophic dangers, like natural disasters. What we call natural disasters won't even be so natural if you have weather machines manipulating our skies, manipulating our winds, you know, creating clouds and stuff like that. If you're manipulating the weather, you are also messing with the Earth's magnetic fields, and that has an effect on human behavior. Um, Back to frequency harmonics, um, definitely can put us in harmony um, or in dis-ease, like not disease but dis-ease. So we could either try and see about putting ourselves in harmony. The only way to do that is to get everyone to come together and work together in a unison, because it is a collective conscious thing to do. Now, as far as like all the other stuff about monies and this and that, those are man-made things. Those are things that, you know, we try to have control over or not. But as far as the human, the physical body and the spiritual body has to be in harmony with each other in order to be able to sustain this planet the way it needs to be. We are all connected in some shape or form. And with that being said, we have to definitely see what is wrong, come up with a solution, and have a plan for bringing things together. Hopefully, with the weeks to come, people will start to realize how important it is to have a relationship with each other. Eventually, they'll realize that it's necessary. My opinion is that people continue to be oppressed and oppress others, there would never be a harmonic living space like Earth. We need it to be a harmonic living space. Most people need to bring their feminine and masculine energies together to harmonize as one. When you only lean towards one or the other, it's not in its harmony. And so, if that happens and there's more people like that, then of course your environment is going to be the same. You only treat your environment. I was going to say planet, but your environment the same way you treat yourself. I mean, it makes sense logically, right? So, you know, other things I've noticed is the fact that there's a sense of control. Control is let's control that, let's control what they say, what they do. Control, and you still have an imbalance happening. I mean, I don't see how the control is putting anything to good use. I mean, I don't know if you can agree with me, but I really don't see it. Now, the distractions around that they throw around media, um, it is up to you whether you want to listen to it or not. You know, my thing is if you program yourself on a constant basis, then you are not allowing yourself to have an open mind and to see things for what they really are. Research is very important. Um, I like to research. I like to look into stuff, um, to check things over and over. Speaking of checking things, there has been an overwhelmingly uh, disproportionate use of fact checking on Facebook and Instagram and all these other uh, blog and media outlets. And they want to try and silence certain truths, saying that it's not an actual fact. I mean, if public knows that it is true, then why would you want to discredit that? Don't we want to come to a solution? One thing I have to say is if it's not broke, then try not fixing it. But if it's broke, we can attempt to fix it. Why not? Our planet needs it. It's desperately asking for it. You know, coming to also with other current events about what we ingest and the fake food that they want to put on our shelves of lab grown meat. What kind of harmony do you think that causes for your body? Of course, it's going to lead to more disease, disease. Of course, it will. But how could we be living in an age of technology and not put it to its good use? Let's just think about that for 1 second. Because honestly, it makes no sense to try and get rid of what's important for this planet to actually carry on and thrive, and that is human beings. So, at the end of the day, it is the individual's decision on what must be done, doing what's right, how it feels to the soul. Every living thing, almost every living thing has a soul. I should say that instead. Almost every living thing has a soul. Even for the ones that are man made, it still has something inside of it that is pushing a vessel, whether it's cloned, or not. It could be, you know, something that was made and something like a soul came into it. Soul just needs a vessel. So, you know, they're saying it's a spiritual war. I don't know for certain, right? Because there's nothing written in black and white except for what they have in religious texts, which have yet to be proven as a fact. But in the spiritual communities, as I should say, on social media, there's been talks about a spiritual war happening between good and evil, right? Now, what I can say is this: for those that are pushing an agenda, right? And for those that are pushing a good agenda, right? A good agenda, there has to be a middle ground somewhere when it comes to sustainable living, right? Because on both sides, no matter what they argue or what the fight is over, they still need a living planet. We have not discovered another place to live yet. So, why should we, or why should you, the individual, why should we be fighting over basic nonsense when we need a living planet to thrive on? We all have a purpose, but the main purpose is to live while we're still living. I hope that this message was clear. I know it must have been a little bit political and a little bit of current events, but it made this more interesting as conversation because let's be honest, when do we start to question ourselves in the fact of standing up for what is right and what is just and not live in the fear, because most of what we fear is just an illusion. It's not real. It's something that we created, we manifested. I think I spoke about manifestation, but yeah, we manifesting things. When you write in holy texts about these revelations or things to come, it's like trying to manifest things. You say affirmations out loud, it's to manifest. It doesn't even matter if it's from Psalms. Psalms is like usually the hymns and stuff like that. It's manifestation. The Bible, most people don't know is that it's an allegory book. It's a book of spells because the most powerful witches on earth know that this book is a book of spells, but of good spells, right? Because in the King James version, the King James wrote it, right? He was into researching on, he did research on demonology and stuff. So I'm just saying, you put it all together, you piece it all together. It's still the balance. You got this and you got this. Balance it. The same thing with our planet. You have to balance things. I know I went a little off there of subject, but all still the same. Everything is connected, and we must get ourselves together, right, so that we can get our environment together. That's how it works. That's how it always works. So, anyway, next time I'll tune in. Maybe we'll have some more updates on what's to come as far as earthly things are going. And there's been talk about the government saying we have aliens or that there's aliens. I'm just saying uh, they've always been amongst us. In my opinion, I feel like, you know, they've always been with us. And, it's just ironic, or it's just moronic, in my opinion, again, to think that we are the only species living. Look at the different species that we have on Earth, different kinds, whether sexual, asexual, beings or whatever, right? Some we have discovered, some we still have not discovered. Um, why would we ever think small minded and think that there's nothing living outside of this bubble? Of course there is. Of course. I mean, we may have the fear to want to get next to them, talk to them, or they may harm us, or we may harm them because look at us. We're like savages. So I don't know. But you know, with that being said, if there was other beings, right, amongst us, I would assume that we would want to learn from them instead of harm them. I would assume. I would assume we would want to elevate so we can be able to talk to others. Might not be from our mouths, you know, telekinetic or something, but we definitely need to come together, all beings. I don't care whether it's from outer space, inner space, whatever, because there are forces out there that are greater than us. So we shouldn't fight amongst each other on earth. We should come together, is what I'm saying. But I don't know much. Nah. I don't know much, so you didn't hear it from me. But good night, everyone. I just wanted to touch base on those things. Um, I would talk more. I know it took about a month, but I am a mom and I do have a life and I have other things that I do. But I'll be back with another episode and we can talk more about other things. I have also adopted another program, so I should be able to play more with the videos, which would be more interactive. And if you want to talk, type it in the comments. Let me know what I should talk about or what you want to talk about. You know, just get this spiritual conversation going. Peace.